Hi, Stark beer is consumed all over Germany during Lent, and Stark beer means strong beer, so let's find out what it is. Hey, welcome back to Views on Brews. I am Brendan, and this is next up on my German beer unboxing exploration, rediscovering what German beers are all about. And this one is another beer from Mullerbrau Brewery in Pfaffenhofen. And this one is interesting because it's slightly more modern in the sense that it's got citra hops in it. Mit Citra, yeah. So Red Nax Imperial Pale Ale is 7%. Now, Stark beer is what this beer is. Stark beer means strong beer, but that doesn't necessarily, in fact, that doesn't mean that the alcohol content has to be strong. What it actually means is that Stark beer was consumed by monks during Lent in Germany for 40 days where they weren't allowed to have any food at all. So what they did to sort of get around that was to drink a lot. And the beers that they produced are full of proteins, minerals, starches, sugars, and heavy on sort of unfermentable malts, if you like. So there's plenty of sugar that's not been turned into alcohol. Anyway, the monks were a jolly old lot, and this is the kind of thing that they had during Lent. I think I'm right in saying, and I stand to be corrected, but I think Salvatore was the first Stark beer, in the sense that it was produced by the Paulaner monks from Italy that moved over to Munich, and they would have been, I think, the first monks to actually take on this idea of brewing for consumption during Lent. Anyway, let's crack this beer open. Don't be alarmed that there's a knife at the side of me here, because actually what we're going to do afterwards is crack open something really cool. I'm just going to go reach over here, grab my bottle opener. I want to keep this cap because it looks really awesome. I gave this beer a bit of a bash on the way over here, so I'm hoping it's not too lively. Add that to the collection. Okay, so Mullerbrau Red Nax Imperial Pale Ale Mit Citra. A small sort of a tulip glass here. So pale ale, I'm expecting it to be nice and crisp bite to it. Not too much on the, although actually if it's Stark beer, which is strong beer, does that mean that it's going to be more maltier? And in that case, how does it be a pale ale at the same time? If it's also got strong malt and strong hop, therefore it should be an IPA, or is it not? Okay, anyway, not too sure, but I am sure that there's a brilliant, nice head on this beer. Shaving foam thickness sort of top of the head here. There's hardly even bubbles. It's just one sort of lump of foam, which is brilliant. A little bit bubbly on the side there. Great carbonation coming off of this. The clarity is just 100% crystal clear. Not surprising, when Germans set out to make a clear beer, they make a clear beer. Same when they make their Pilsners and the Dortmund lagers and all of that. So, do I get citra hops off of this? There is some kind of hop aroma on the top. I'm not expecting it to be crazy over the top, with citra. There's kind of a herbal note to the top. On the aroma, yeah, a bit of a herbal note, but not much to it. But look at the clarity on that. I don't know how well that shows up, but I can literally see through to the camera here. It's just brilliant. Okay, let's give this one a go. Sláinte, Prost, cheers, all that good stuff, and hope you're enjoying a beer while you're watching this too. Oh, okay. Okay, so that is a very, very deceptive looking beer. The color of it is, I should say, it's sort of an off deep golden color with a bit of amber mixed into it as well. It's kind of like it's sort of crossing the border of golden and coppery amber. Or not coppery, just a tiny, tiny wisp of amber in there. There is some, I can actually see there is some protein. There's thousands of little bits of protein flying around in this alongside the carbonation bubbles. So that's cool. But the first taste of this beer it's one of those beers that you're not expecting it to be the way it is. I'm expecting to be this light, crisp, sort of American style pale ale, but of course it's German, and this is a stark beer, so it's a strong beer, so it's rich in all of that protein and starch and sugar and minerals and whatever else that they can keep inside the beer for sustenance. And it just tastes like sustenance, is exactly what it tastes like. So there's more a malty character on the nose, just with like a bit of a hop bitterness that you sort of perceive to be bitterness on the nose anyway. I wouldn't, if you told me there was citra in there, I wouldn't know, to be honest. But anyway, the flavour is... Ooh, hugely, hugely sweet beer. Not wheat sweet, more barley sweet. So this has tons and tons of unfermentable malt in it. This reminds me of beers that have a huge amount of crystal malts in them, for instance. Malts that have been highly kilned so that sugars have actually caramelized, and at that stage they can't be converted during fermentation into... they can't be used as fermentable sugars for the yeast to feed on. Therefore, they remain in the beer and you get to taste them afterwards. And that's what I get in this. It's almost got a deep syrupy edge to it. It's nearly sickly sweet to it. Now, I didn't expect to taste this beer and it be that way, but it definitely has this kind of sweet edge to it that's bordering on a little bit, I wouldn't say cloying, because you can see the clarity sort of, this is a clear beer, but it is sticking to the back of my palate a little bit, I would say. So interesting. Now, let me have another slug of it. There is a Maillard sort of toasty character to this beer, and then there is this kind of like molasses sort of treacly element to it, that is that golden syrup, sort of a combination of golden syrup with a little bit of treacle mixed into it, diluted into beer. That's what this tastes like. Interesting. Like, I can see how this would fill in for food. I think they call it, the monks call this kind of thing liquid bread, or liquid lunch, liquid meal, liquid breakfast. Yeah, very interesting. Not the sort of beer that I would want a 500ml bottle of, because to be honest with you, it would just be too much, too sickly, too sweet. It would be far too much to have. Okay, yeah. Wow. What a strange sort of... it throws you off, because the beer doesn't look like anything like it tastes like. This is so heavy and strong. It is exactly as it intends to be, which is a stark beer, strong beer. Strong. Now, they make the distinction, when you look this up, they make the distinction of saying stark beer is a strong beer, but strong not in alcohol, unless that is something that the brewer intends to do additionally. So you don't buy a stark beer to get a strong alcohol beer. You buy a stark beer to get a strong sustenance-based beer that may well also be strong in alcohol. And this one is 7%, so it is high up there. They call it imperial. Americans, BJCP probably would say that starts at 7.2%. But I always think that anything that's, anything that's bordering on 7%, you really are heading into imperial territory, and something should be written on the bottle or or on the pump tap to let you know that you're drinking a strong beer. So we're drinking a stark beer is probably what you'd have to say in German. Das ist gut, yeah. Das ist gut. I don't know how many of these I would drink, but if I was drinking beer during Lent and I wanted to forego a meal, I would definitely grab for one of these. Would I go to the bar and intentionally go and have a pint of this? Probably not. Not that I don't like it. It's just that it's just too much sugar is the way I would put it. But a very complex, rich, sweet, malty beer all the same. Citra, I wouldn't know there's Citra in it. You may as well have told me, there's no hops in it, because that's what I would have said if someone would have asked me. Anyway, I'm going to shuffle this onto the side for just a second, because something absolutely crazy happened the other day. I was approached by someone in the Midlands Beer Club in Ireland who just got in contact with me, private messaged me, Jurgen Tuske. Sorry, Jurgen, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are. Jurgen has supplied me, out of his own kindness, he's supplied me with a parcel of beer. And here it is. And I said to Jurgen that if he wanted to send me some beer to review, I said, if you send me a beer, that's very kind of you. I will definitely review those and make it my second beer unboxing of German beer. So I not only have to finish off the first box of German beer for German beer unboxing part 1, I now have a part 2. Okay, so I've got the box open. Jurgen has sent this from, it looks like Rostock in Germany somewhere, and he has really well packaged this beer. So let's open this up and see exactly what he's put in here. Oh my god, great packaging. That's the first thing, and I think I can safely say that I don't see anything broken in here. So the first beer that I have, just going to throw this down here because I want to move this on. Hold on. Okay, that's a bit better. Now I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here is the first beer that Jurgen has sent me. And I was about to rip that paper off. Wow, I am so glad I didn't do something very stupid there, which would be to rip the paper off. This is really cool. This is the first beer. Okay, so Incel Cap Seltens beer. It seems to have won 8 gold medals in the World Beer Awards and World's Best IPA in London 2016. Really? Wow. Okay. Incel Cap. There it is. Anyway, I will see if I've given you a good look at that beer. Let me just hold it up here. Yeah, London 2016 World Beer Awards, Incel Cap, Oatmeal Stout is what the beer is, and it won gold medal. Did it say it won 8 gold medals or 8 golds? It seems to have won 8 gold medals, 5.6%. Awesome. Well, that's a great way to start. So thank you very much for that one. Here is another one now. These are wrapped really, really well. I am absolutely stunned that someone would contact me and ask me to review some beers all the way over here, but it's an absolute pleasure to do so. Okay, this looks like another beer that, you know, these are nothing like my first box of German beers where I've gone for all the traditional ones to revisit them. These first two here already seem like they're, you know, of the new modern era of craft brewing in Germany. So I'm going to have fun looking these up. I'm going to get this wrong, but I'm going to say that's Stortebecker? Stortebecker? I don't know. Brauspezialaten. That sounded Italian. Sorty, Bernstein Weizen. Okay, that's the style. Bernstein Weizen. So it's a Weizen. Okay. Geschmack, fruitig, spritzig. I'm sure, Jurgen, when you watch this back, you're going to be laughing because you're going to be saying that is not how you say any of those words, but I apologize. 5.3%. Check this beer out here. Have a look at that. And it also, I think, yeah, it's also won 3 gold medals. Okay, so, you know, Germany has got an interesting history, and they probably, because German brewing is so, you know, it's so ingrained in the culture and the Reinheitsgebot and all of these, you know, cluster breweries and all of these historical buildings and historical breweries and clusters all attached to them, you know, there's going to be an interesting sort of wave of new modern beer that's all over Germany, and I don't know what the general thinking is in Germany, you know, how that comes across. But this looks a very, very nice bottle of beer, 500ml bottle. Let's pop that one there for a second. Oh, is that a glass? The one thing I am dying to get hold of is some German glassware, and it is. He's only gone and sent a glass. Brilliant. What a fantastic looking glass. Look at that. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for sending me that. Now, that's a molded glass. You can see that it's been set and it's had 2 halves of the glass put on top of each other. So it's a molded glass, probably the only molded glass that I've owned ever. Very interesting foot to the beer, to the glass. Brilliant. Wow. This is a great start. Let's get another one here. I think some online beer sales companies could learn a thing or two about this packaging. It's bomb-proof. Here is another beer from that same brewery there. Stortebecker? I don't know how you say it. Okay, this is Ice Lager, and it is 9.8% Ice Lager. Wow. So it's an ice bock. Okay, we're going to have fun looking up this one. Very, very interesting. 9.8% lager. It's not out of date till October of 2021, so we've got a good 10 months to go on this beer. That looks fantastic. It does have other information, but I'm aware that I'm taking a long time with this video, so I'm going to crack on. There are 2 more bottles in here. Okay, I think these are from the same brewery as well. So the great thing is I'm going to be able to look up this brewery and get a good feel of their range of beers. So it's not just going to be, well, this is a beer from one brewery and this is this is that. I'm going to actually have a bit of fun, like digging a bit deeper into this brewery and understanding more about them and more about modern brewing. I mean, I'm assuming this is a modern brewery, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a more modern labeling. Pilsner, and this Pilsner is 4.9%. Germans, Czechs, they're all just way ahead when it comes to brewing Pilsner beers, Pilsner lagers. It looks crystal clear. I can see straight through it. It does have some interesting information on the back of it. I am going to take a bit of time to look that up. And here is the last beer. So is this from Studebeck? No, it's not. No, this is Incel. Okay. So oh, fantastic. Okay, wow. Like, it's going to break my heart to rip open the paper on these. I'm going to try and do it carefully so we can just keep the paper that it's wrapped in, because it's packaged so nicely. This one is very interesting because, let me just move that. So on the front of this one, it says special bitter. So anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love bitter. It's one of my favorite styles of beer. And this one has won awards at the London World Beer Awards as well. Incel Brewery, 9 golds this has won. Like, I'm amazed. Incel Herb Special Bitter, 5.6%. Have a look at that. Have a look, in fact, at the back of it, because there's a really interesting hop graph on it. I really like those hop graphs because what they do is they show you where the beer is meant to be leading to. And this one says it's meant to be herby, slightly spicy, and slightly dry. I can't wait to try. It's an English style special bitter brewed in Germany. So that's so cool. That is absolutely fantastic. So that's this box. I think that's absolutely everything. I made a real mess on the floor now. That's this box opened, and those are the beers that Jurgen has sent. I'll be reviewing every single one of them and giving you my views on these brews. I'm going to finish up my sustanance Stark beer in the background, and it's Prost to Germany. It's Prost to Jurgen, and thanks very much for sending the beer. Dankeschön. Cheers, and on to the next one. Bye.